Well, it happened. We have started the 2 hour pullback, and now we have to see when this thing is going to be finished because we did end up tapping into that key area. So the 2 hour pullback has come, and everyone is starting to talk about a stock market crash. Now, we're not necessarily leaning towards stock market crash. We think it may be a fake crash. We've talked about that plenty of times. And if you'd like to join us over the weekend for a macro update where we will talk about that said fake crash, hey, you can join us. You can hit that subscribe button down there and hit the like video so that more people can see these. I would really appreciate that. But I think we need to consider what's happening right now. We'll go over the macro on Saturday, but let's consider what's happening right now. You guys remember during the live show, someone calling out, where do you think the pullback would go to? And we pointed out the fair value gap right in this area. And we suggested that anywhere in this area, all the way down to your weekly expected move would be a great place to watch. And we even drew up, even if it just taps into the top of there, right? Even if it just taps into the middle, we marked it off and it looks fantastic. So that's the first area we want to watch, but we don't necessarily have a curl up from the 2 hour chart. So simply put here, if this 2 hour is able to curl up, then we have the opportunity to stretch this up to potentially next week's weekly expected move. And I will give that information out. Another reason to subscribe is because I give out this options data. We use weekly expected moves on this channel, which is using the options data to calculate the high probable zone, the 68% zone for the week, where you do tag one side 75% of the time. This is one of the weeks where we are not tagging it, which we haven't seen that a lot lately. So I think that is interesting. But we're going to be going over this stuff and getting that information out over the weekend. So if this is able to curl up, right? If this curls up and you're like, where the heck should I put a target? Now, why would I say, where the heck should I put a target? Well, because you're still in no man's land, right? You've never been in this territory before for the SPY. So if you need some kind of target, a weekly expected move can really clear up decision making. And we'll talk about that more as we give you those updated levels over the weekend. But let's talk about daily expected moves. If we're able to curl up here, well, why would we curl up? Let's go over that really, really briefly for a moment. We kept mentioning that over on Friday before the open, you will get the non farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. So, is the market just going to move based on that data? We will consider that in some way, but overall, we're going to talk about this, how it looks right now. So, if the 2 hour is able to curl up, well, for tomorrow, that means you might stall out. You might do little 5 minute, 30-minute pullback, something from this area. But 761.29, it says if all goes well tomorrow, and we're able to curl up here, then for tomorrow you would look for that 761.29 with the knowledge that this is curled up. Hey, we can head up to the potential weekly expected move next week. This is still a very bullish stance. I am overall looking at this and I do not see any kind of reversal signals. In order for me to say that there is going to be a bigger piece of disruption, like down towards the monthly expected move, I would like to see some kind of what? Some kind of 2 hour divergence, some kind of 2 hour, well, we'd probably have to fail this move right here, go a little bit deeper and set up some kind of 2 hour lower high to suggest that we can get down there. So we'll watch for that. We'll watch for those things, but that is a little bit down the line. As of tomorrow, the 30-minute is going to be very, very important because if you're going to see that 2 hour move, sometimes you get those 30-minute hints. Now, in this case, we do have a bigger data drop. Unemployment, non-farm payrolls is a pretty good piece of data for a market move, but we're not necessarily calculating a massive move here. I believe the implied volatility for tomorrow about 10% for the SPY, which isn't something crazy at this point. But we noticed that we were able to take out this level very, very cleanly. And we kind of see some structure if we needed to go grab liquidity. And we kind of see a good area down in here that we could go down into that area and see if we're able to confirm to the upside. But the risk here is price action is a little bit different from, say, your indicators at this point. If the 30-minute crosses down here, the market is a bit risky. You're not necessarily risky saying of like huge downside moves, but it means we might be 2 hour pulling back a little bit longer because when this curls down, it will go into negative territory. And that's if it curls down with the data. But that means we could test the low or even go make a new one. If we're able to see this, we'll look for divergences and things like that, right? Down in this box down here, we're overall suggesting we need to look for any kind of higher low, any kind of maybe a bigger higher low or something like this. this where we're at right now, or we would look for a potential divergence in this area or down towards the weekly expected move. So if you don't create that divergence here and you see a bigger move to the downside, we would look for it later on, noting that the 2-hour has plenty of room. You notice that we can draw kind of a pretty good vertical line down here, or diagonal, not vertical, but we can draw a pretty good line down here, and we could still be right by that center line like halfway through Monday if we really wanted to. So watching the 30-minute here, very good practice. If the 2 hours able to curl up, you can see some good things. Let's get you guys the daily expected moves for the Qs. For the Qs here, this is very interesting to me. The Qs here do have, and we always look out for traps over the weekend, and that's going to make this point's going to make more sense as we get over to volatility. So if you could stick with us, this isn't going to be the longest update video because we've been over it so many times, especially during the live show. And I hope you guys join us for our live shows next week. They're completely for free. They'll be up here on YouTube if you need to turn notifications on. We go live right at the open for 2 to 3 hours in the morning, depending on how the personal life is going in the background with the kids. But we will be doing that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I hope you consider joining us for a bit of time. We notice once again that the Qs have an interesting daily expected move. It's right by the annual expected move. Notice some people pointing out during the live show, we tag that annual move, we start to 2-hour pullback. But we do not see good reversal signals here. We wiped out those divergences in the past. So that tells us another curl up is definitely possible, even probable, considering the market most of the time goes up. So our daily expected move is really, really close to this, 747.61. Our daily expected downside move of 733.61. But if the 2 hour is able to curl up in some fashion, we would need to get through that resistance on Friday, or else we are at risk of seeing some kind of little like weekend trap. Now, we will discuss this over on volatility, but for now, I think we need to tag on. We have plenty of room to the center line. If we wanted to pull back a little bit longer into Monday, we'll see how that goes. 30-minute chart here, very, very critical, though, for the market. Yes, the market is in that bullish stance. Yes, the market is, in a way, saying the 2-hour chart can go higher by saying we need to reset some signals, but the 30-minute chart is still negative for the Q. So if it gets bad news here, and let's say because the range is not the biggest, again, let's say you get a second standard deviation, well, then you just wiped out your chance of divergence. If you come down to that daily expected move, you test the low, right? Remember, this curls down, test the low, potentially go make a new one. So what if we test that low and we're successful off of the daily move and we see a bounce and you get a little 30-minute divergence very, very quickly in the morning? That is something that I would consider. Now, if you do see a little bit more volatility, say we head to a second standard deviation, if this crosses it as negative, you can see some selling. We actually were pointing out that you wanted to take out this low, and we would like to take out that low. And if you're being cautious, you would really like to see a lower high to say, yes, we are going into that negative trend for a bit of time. We're going to go deeper than we are right now. Right now, you're kind of in that weird spot where if you see more volatility and you don't make the divergence here, you would look for that at lower prices. And I would start to look in between these gaps that we pointed out multiple times. So if the big talk here is, if the 2 hour turns up, hey, we can go to next week's weekly expected move. But if it stalls and we're still in that pullback mode, considering we have a little bit more time, then the 30-minute would potentially create a divergence here, or we have enough time that we could create that going into potentially, late stages of Monday, maybe going into Tuesday. So we'll watch for this very, very carefully, but this seems to be very probable. Look at this left head and right shoulder. Sometimes you wait for the lower high to really say, hey, these divergences are not going to be wiped out in any fashion. IWM is a great one to watch right now because IWM is still performing here and trying to curl up that 2 hour chart. And here's the deal. We did end up creating that higher low we talked about on Patreon this morning with our little weekly update. We will try to put out even more with the weekly updates, talking about some individual stocks in the near future like we used to. But this was able to climb into positive territory. So IWM saying this is more likely to be a pullback for the 30-minute than some kind of retest of the low or some kind of divergence. Now, you have a piece of data in the morning, so be open to it, be cautious about it, but is the data going to be the sole thing that drives the market at this point? That's kind of the question. You have some great buyers in both of these bars. We'll see if IWM is able to carve out a higher low. That's exactly what you're looking for a hint here. And the 30-minute could go all the way down to that daily expected move of 288.58. IWM has a higher level of implied volatility than today going into, say, Friday. You have a higher amount of implied volatility with these daily expected moves. So the fishy things over on SPY and Qs are, well, they shrunk up with a big piece of data. IWM did not, and IWM attempted to cross at the end of the day. This is not a good confirmation as of right now. You have seen it with the RSI, you have seen it with the price action, but the MACD, you're still kind of waiting for that, and this is an overall negative bar, and it's the last bar of the day, which is the worst bar of the day for the 2-hour chart. So if you can successfully carve out a higher low for the 30-minute, let's say the data is bad, but you successfully see some kind of higher low that's maybe confirmed on Monday, we can start to climb up to 295.67. Your daily expected move for tomorrow, though, is 295.44. So we could be tagging this level as soon as tomorrow. Now, let's just talk about that very briefly. If we tag that tomorrow, yes, you can just see something bad over the weekend. We'll go over volatility in a moment, but if this is able to stretch, then this is going to be extremely positive. That means over here on the 30-minute chart, I still would be watching for some kind of divergence on the 30-minute. I still would be watching for some kind of 30-minute lower high to really suggest that that trap is taking place. And we'll go over that in every single video in our updates throughout the next week or so to see if that's playing out. So we really need to see how the market proves itself with this data. But the one thing that I'm really watching here is volatility. Now, volatility, we actually discussed the potential for divergence down here. It's a very extended across divergence, in my opinion. So and really, the closure of the bars doesn't really point towards divergence, but you were able to wipe out this point. The important thing here is if volatility curls up on the 2-hour here, it's really close to that center line. You're really close to starting to confirm a daily signal. So it is still risky at this point. If you get data tomorrow, though, that is good for the market, and this is able to fall through and wipe out, like kind of get further away from the center line, then we would look for that to reset. This adds up to another push for the market at lower levels. But if you get it to pop off right now, that would be a problem because the 2-hour would be going positive. So there is a signal here for some kind of topping process right now to see a bigger move to the downside, but the 30-minute chart does not necessarily point towards that at this exact moment, right? The 30-minute chart would potentially need to climb and create a higher low to really convince us, or it would need to climb up for a moment and maybe create that divergence on the 30-minute to say that that 2-hour is going to turn around. That would take you into kind of the end of the day on Friday. So we will be watching it very, very cautiously. I think the cautious signal is more so on the 2-hour chart at this point. So we got to see how that data proves itself. We do have a signal from volatility here that is closer. We have at least a MACD that is closer to the center line than the last time it curled up. So if it's able to curl up, you should be able to take out this high and potentially go make a new one. That means you are still in a risky spot. This is very, very obvious as the Qs are at their annual expected move, as IWM is reaching up towards its annual expected move. We know that this is an area where the market can easily set a trap and easily pull back. So overall, we're still looking for, do we have enough information to, say that the 2-hour chart is going to cross up and we're going to reach for a new high? That is what I'm leaning towards, but do we have enough consolidated information in here to say that that's going to happen, as we have no confirmation on the 2-hour chart? And the risk here is you're setting up some kind of 30-minute lower high that sends us a little bit deeper. And if we get that reaction, but the 2-hour fails or something like that, or if we go too deep and the 2-hour fails later, then we'd be pointing directly in the opposite direction. So let's see how the market proves itself tomorrow. We'll talk about it over the weekend. And then on the live show on Monday, we'll really go in depth with what's going on with the new price action that we see as the market proves itself. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, live show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all summer long, all the way up until my birthday, going to be completely free. And this weekend, we'll be doing a macro update and getting you guys those weekly expected moves. Thank you guys so much and have a great, great rest of your day. Peace out.